This year, 12,500 pounds of food was delivered to the South Shore Community Action Council from the Plymouth County Sheriff's Farm. The inmates and crew who worked the land put in countless hours to produce this food, and they're happy to be distributing it to those in need. PCN stopped in to get the full story.
It's an exciting time for us. The farm came for a visit. The county farm came for a visit with the sheriff last spring, and we talked about what they were planning to do this year. We came over and we walked around the fields. They planted an extra field for us this year. So the vegetable counts, the prior year in 15, they grew 7,500 pounds for us that we distribute to councils on aging, 45 pantries and feeding sites, Boys and Girls Clubs, up and down the coast as far south as Onset. It's just beautiful produce to have a neighbor across the street so willing to go to all this work. The vans, the day that we have a distribution of vegetables, the COA vans are pulling in from all over the South Shore, all over Plymouth County, to be first in line. Now, Linda Rohr, who manages the distribution site, is very careful that everybody gets a share according to the size of their population.
This farm has been in operation for over 100 years, and originally the purpose of the farm was to allow the inmates to raise food to feed themselves so that they would not be a burden to the rest of society. Over time, our populations have grown and our ability to feed people has been outstripped by our prison populations. So the farm still does exist and serve a useful purpose as an inmate rehabilitative program now. And we're here today to celebrate one of my favorite things. Last year, the guys here on the farm, and that includes our officers and the inmates who work the land here, 90 acres. Last year, they were able to come up with 7,500 pounds of food that was donated to the South Shore Community Action Council for the food pantries. And last year, as they were receiving the award, not satisfied to rest on those laurels, they said, next year, we're going to beat that. And this year, as we stand here today, they have beaten that substantially. They were aiming for 10,000 pounds. We're now over 12,500 pounds of food that they have delivered to the South Shore Community Action Council. Well, you know, this food is obvious. There are obvious benefits because this is going to go and it's going to be given to the food pantries, and people in need, hungry people here in Plymouth County will benefit from this. But the other benefit that people may not think about is, you know, this is what I have called in the past a tangible installment in a debt to society. And what I mean by that, you know, you hear people are incarcerated, they're in prison, repaying a debt to society. And I will tell you this, the inmates that work the land are keenly aware of what their efforts are going toward, and it means as much to them, I think, who produce this food as it does to us who get to distribute this food.
Just want to thank the sheriff, Plymouth County Sheriff Joe McDonald, and the crew, Wayne and Dan, and all the folks who work so hard with the teams of men who work the field. So we're very, very grateful.